folks, it's Teresa at Stringfield Ridge Farm. Tonight I'm working on a collaboration with my dear friend Sherry at Two Family Homestead. She asked us to do a collaboration showing our favorite holiday dessert. If you've seen any of my recent videos, you know that I am on a low carb lifestyle, low carb eating. And it's kind of on the line of keto, but I'm kind of a lazy keto. It's very low carb, healthy eating. And so I'm going to make a dessert that is low carb and great for Christmas. You could use it for Thanksgiving, especially if you wanted to add a little pumpkin spice in there. But mostly I use it for a Christmas recipe, and I haven't done it low carb before and low sugar. This has got a sugar substitute. I am using monk fruit, but you could also use any of the other sweeteners. Truvia, a really good one is Swerve. You can also use Pure. I have a liquid Pure right now. I use that a lot in my coffee and stuff. I'm not using that in this recipe because I really do like the monk fruit, and I just happen to have it in the granulated form, and that's what this recipe calls for. So I will be using the monk fruit and almond flour. Now, if you wanted to make this recipe full force, full recipe like I used to make it, you would use regular flour and sugar, and the rest is about the same. The rest of the ingredients would be the same. So the only things you would substitute would be sugar and regular flour. If you didn't care for the sugar-free low-carb version, you could use the other. And it is called lemon coconut balls. So y'all watch this video. I'm going to give you the recipe as it calls for, but I always double it because it doesn't make a whole lot. But I'll give you both ways, the recipe, and then I double it. So you will see me, I will kind of go through the recipe, but then I'll be doubling the recipe because it makes about 8 to 10. I like to make 20, so I always double the recipe. So here we go. Okay, first we're going to go over the ingredients. So this recipe calls for a half a stick of cream cheese, a teaspoon of sour cream, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and the zest from a half of a lemon. It also calls for almond flour. I'm using almond flour. It calls for a half a cup plus 2 teaspoons of flour. I'm going to double, as I told you, I'm doubling mine, but I'm using almond flour instead. It calls for coconut flakes, and there's no set amount on that. You just sprinkle those out to roll this in. That's going to be the coating, so there's no set amount on that. The sweetener, the monk fruit equals sugar, but it says it does. I use a little extra because I don't think the monk fruit is quite as sweet as the equal amount of sugar, so I always use just a little bit extra. And you could use any sweetener that you have that you want, or sugar. I am using monk fruit in the raw. 3 tablespoons of sweetener. And then you'll use a little extra in your coating. So in your coating will be coconut flakes and your sweetener. And then your sweetener will be in your dough also. So we're going to make the dough. And it also calls for vanilla extract and salt. It's a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla and a 1/16 a dash of salt. 1/16 is about a dash, right? So here we go. I'm going to start mixing this up. Now I am going to use mine a little different. In the description I will list the exact recipe that I have used. But like I said, always double it. But I'm going to use the recipe exactly like it calls for. And then if you want more, you can double it. It makes about 10 balls. So here we go. I have probably told y'all over and over that Lee cooks better than me. And one of those reasons is because I don't have patience. And when I'm measuring, I don't measure exactly. I grab a spoon and throw it in there. And I don't smooth off my spoon and make sure it's exactly a teaspoon. I just get the teaspoon, dip it in there, throw it in there. So that's probably why he cooks better than me, is because I don't have patience to, I'm not a good cook. I don't like to cook, so I just throw my stuff together, mix it up, and taste it along the way and try to make it right. So that's probably why he's a better cook than me. Okay, I have all the ingredients in here. I fast forwarded through that so you didn't have to watch every little bit. So I have double ingredients in this bowl, and I'm going to mix this up really good with a fork. That's just the best way I know to do it, as it softens a little. And I could have started out with softened cream cheese, would probably work better, but I never think that far ahead when I'm doing this, so I usually just mix it for a little bit, and as it starts to soften, it gets way easier to mix together. And so we're just going to get this mixed up really good like a dough, and then we're going to put it in the freezer for 5 minutes to thicken a little bit so that you can roll those balls out good. So I'm going to get this mixed up here. And I'm not going to make you watch all of this either, but I'm going to do this fork through here until this is mixed really good. Okay, this is mixed up pretty dang good, so I am going to put that in the freezer for 5 minutes and let it harden a little bit. And then we'll get our sweetener and our coconut in a bowl to make balls and roll them. I am going to start getting my coconut. Now, if you want it to stick with your low carb, no sugar, you would need to get unsweetened coconut. But where I went to get this, they didn't have any unsweetened, and I had to get sweetened. So I'm hoping that it's not too much in here. I did check it, and it said total sugar's 5 grams. I'm hoping that's not too bad. So I won't eat many of these. I'll save these mostly for Lee or somebody, or the grandkids, since I didn't get the unsweetened coconut. Next time I will try to go, I guess I'm going to have to go to the health food store maybe and get the unsweetened coconut flakes, or order them online, because I went to Walmart and Kroger, and neither one, I couldn't find unsweetened coconut flakes at either one. So, and then we're going to use a little monk fruit. Oh, maybe too much. Okay, a little monk fruit, a little sweetener, and a little coconut on here. Mix it together, and we're going to roll our dough. We're going to take our dough and make little balls and roll them in this, and then put that in the refrigerator. And you can store that in the refrigerator or the freezer. I have put them in the freezer and then gotten them out a few minutes before I'm going to actually eat them. so that they soften a little, or you can just store them in the refrigerator if you're going to eat them fairly quick. Okay, and while I'm waiting for my 5 minutes, I'm going to clean up a little bit. Okay, our 5 minutes is up. I'm going to take just a teaspoon, and I'm going to dip in there and get a little ball about yay big, and then you will just roll that off onto your coconut and start rolling it around in your coconut and your sweetener mixture and form a ball. There we go. That sound is my coffee pot back there. I am fixing to heat me up a little hot tea and eat a couple of these with hot tea after I get them done and put them in the refrigerator just a minute. Couple minutes in the refrigerator, and then I will eat me a couple of these with some hot tea. And just keep going. I need to turn this pot off, but you just keep rolling those balls until you're out of dough. Okay, I've got my coffee done. Yeah, I changed my mind. I didn't drink tea. I went ahead and got instant coffee, and I got me. Yeah, I said 2, and I decided to get 3. I changed my mind a lot. So anyway, they're great for a Christmas treat. They look like little snowballs, and they are delicious. Y'all give us a thumbs up and a comment, and in the comments tell me what your favorite holiday dessert is. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We just hit 800. We're real excited about that, and we want to keep growing. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and watch the other YouTube channels that are doing this collaboration for the holiday favorite holiday dessert. Y'all go find that playlist on Two Family Homestead and watch their video and watch the playlist. And thank you, Sherry at Two Family Homestead, for putting this collaboration together and inviting me.